everyone, welcome back to Homestead Dreaming. I'm Kira and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a garden tour. This is the first garden tour of the season and it's not going to be a full garden tour, it's like a mini, hopefully I don't get rained on garden tour, but I'm going to show you what I've done, what all is still going to happen mostly, and yeah, let's get into it. These grow oyas have been fantastic. So what you do is they're clay pots that are unsealed and you bury them into the dirt in your garden beds and fill them up with water. And they slowly bottom water your plants. And it looks like this one might be almost empty, but it's been raining so much that they've been self-filling themselves from the moisture in the dirt in the soil from the rain, so that's fantastic. So the days that it's been raining a whole bunch, they've been self-filling so that when it dries out they still have water. So in this weedy bed that I desperately need to weed, and all the rain has really done a number on the weeds for sure. I've got calendulas coming back from last year. They self-seeded themselves, and I'm really hoping that these are the strawberry blonde calendulas because I ran out of seeds this year and I didn't have enough to start strawberry blonde. So I've got other calendulas around, but not these ones, not strawberry blonde, and I'm hoping that's what it is. So I ended up moving my original grow bag enclosure that I had over close to the driveway under this arch here. And I still have to run the irrigation system over here, get a new hose for that. But the reason why I did that is because I needed that space for something else that I'm building, and I can't tell you what it is yet, but I will give you a little sneaky peeky. So if you've been following my Instagram, you might know what it is because I briefly teased it on my stories, but other than that, I haven't mentioned it. So that's coming soon. I'm just trying to wait for it to not rain for multiple days so that I can actually get out here and build it. So I moved this grow bag enclosure right under this arch, and all it is lined with cardboard and then mulch put in, and then I put the grow bags on top because the mulch keeps the grow bags from drying out as quickly. And then it will also have a drip irrigation system. This one and the farther one will both have it. It's just I need a longer hose and it's a process. It'll get there. Hi, bud. What? Hey, fish. What's up? Good to see you, my love. Good to see you. Alright, so the bed that Fishy is currently sitting in has some nasturtium and some melons. We've got cantaloupes and a French variety from Baker Creek here called Noir de Carmes. I'm pretty sure that's the cantaloupe and not the watermelon, but I guess we'll find out. Some of the labels that I put down have been sun bleached and rain bleached, so I'm not quite sure what it is anymore. But this little one here is for sure Noir de Carmes because, and that's what it says right here. And I've got another Oya here with these. I put them on all the arches to help prevent any of these super thirsty, hey fish, to help prevent any of these super thirstier things that trellis from going thirsty. Let's see if there's water in there. Is there water in there, bud? What do you think? All right, let's see. Yep, half full. Thank you, rainwater. What do you think? Silly kitty. I've still got some space here to plug in a few herbs. I've got a few things started to put in this space that's still empty, but they're not quite ready to come out yet. But here on the end, I have some okra. This is the Okinawa pink okra. In the grow bags, we had some lettuce mixes, and those came out of the middle one. And we have a lettuce mix here that bolted. So I pulled, and now there's a hybrid baby Bubba okra that's supposed to only get like 12 inches tall. So that's in a grow bag here. And we've got some peppermint. We've got some red orich. We've got some sweet mint. We've got some red leaf lettuce and some corn salad back here. I did a pretty decent job of intertwining things. I have some beds that are dedicated specifically for peppers and specifically for tomatoes. However, there were extras and there were spots where things needed to be filled in. So I've got bell peppers and cayenne peppers just kind of like plugged in wherever. So in this bed here, we've got a little dwarf marigold with some bell peppers. And a little farther up, we've got some tulsi, 1, 2, 3, and some squash. The other side will eventually have some grow bags with cucamelons. And here I've got another grow oya. So we still have some open spot here where Fishy is. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna put there yet. I've got a few things started and I've got some ideas, but I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking maybe adding some more bush beans there and kind of doing like a succession show. Words, goodness gracious. Fail. I'm thinking about succession sowing. Why is that so hard for me to say? Some bush beans here in this space. And having another round of bush beans. These middle rows here are all bush beans. Oh, mosquito. These middle rows here are all bush beans. Mosquito. And then on the trellis, we've got pole beans. On that side, they're the old Homestead pole beans. And on this side, it's Chinese noodle beans, which I've never grown before and I'm really excited about. And you can tell that we've had a little bit of a pest problem, but it's been raining so much that we haven't actually been able to do anything about it. So normally I would just spray neem oil on everything on the evenings. However, it has not stopped raining, and neem oil is not effective once it gets wet and washes away. So I'm waiting for Wednesday evening. We should have a few days of no rain, and that's the evening that I'm gonna come out here and spray some neem. But it's been going pretty well. We've had an unseasonably cool spring, and so I'm out here in a tank top and shorts, and I'm rethinking my life choices right now because I'm pretty chilly. But it has done wonders for things like my peas. So in this grow bag, we have King Tut purple peas, and they have done pretty phenomenally. I had also a Tom Thumb pea here, and it doesn't get quite as tall, but it still produces really delicious little peas. So I let that go here next to this pumpkin, and the pumpkin will trellis up, and when the peas are done, I'll just pull. But another thing it's done is it has allowed my iceberg lettuce to form heads, and these guys are almost ready to come out. It's gonna start getting a little too hot for them soon, so I gotta harvest them really soon. And then the chard is done spectacularly in this grow bag. I've realized that I can't weed eat around these grow bags because it just tears them up. They're fabric, obviously, so Fishy, get out of there. They're fabric, obviously, so they just kind of tear apart if you weed eat around them. So this space here, I have to come in with scissors and manually cut the grass around the grow bags to make it look nice and tidy, and of course I didn't do that. We've got volunteer sunflowers here in this grow bag. I actually planted this grow bag with peas this year, and they had sunflowers last year, and they just happened to sprout. All the rain said, hey, yeah, it's time for us to come out. little baby trees trying to grow in my garden beds. Also all the weeds. This week when it stops raining for more than just a few hours, I'm gonna come out here and spend my entire day weeding every single one of these beds. The cayennes, and they're doing phenomenally. This here is a jalapeno pepper that I bought from the store. It's the only pepper plant that I purchased. And you can tell, store-bought compared to all of my home-started peppers. It's kind of behind. We're a little low on T-posts this year. We're slowly gathering more. We reallocated a whole lot of them to put in these extra arches because last year we only had the front two and we didn't have these back two here. So we reallocated a lot of T-posts that we already had to put those arches up, and then also we put a third new arch up here in the walkway. So we still need to go and re-up. We need to get more T-posts so that I can have support for my tomatoes. And we did this last year with T-posts and it worked really, really well for us. So what I like to do, and it's been raining a lot, so I've let them get a little unruly, but what I like to do is I like to prune my tomatoes to one stem and tie them up to the T-posts, and it helps to increase airflow between the plants. It lets me plant them a little bit closer together without worrying about them getting too crowded. And it, since there's no wind protection in the front yard, it helps to prevent getting a whole bunch of damaged limbs and stressed out tomatoes. So here we have the main stem tied to the T-post in multiple places. And so now that they have grown a little bit longer, I can snip this and I can snip this one, not this because these are little bitty tomatoes. And then this is a sucker that could go, and then the rest could stay. But we've got little babies coming up all over the place. And a fishy who wants to be center stage. And this here, this is the last unplanted bed. We still have to heavily weed it. We have to compost it and mulch it, and I have not gotten around to doing that yet because I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to put here, but I think it's going to be those cosmos and some sunflowers, and then the rest of these starts are going to a friend. Now, it hasn't been very long since I've planted these, maybe about a month or so, and I'm already starting to see which varieties are a little more sickly than others. I gambled on a few new varieties that I hadn't tried before, and there was one in particular. Now, so far, they're super sickly, so I don't know if I'll do them again. They were kind of a novelty one. I'm not gonna let you know which ones they are yet, but we'll see. This is a Thornburns terracotta. Is that right? Yep, terracotta. And it is the first one to produce big old fruit. And I am so excited about these. This is my berry patch. It's the third year for these raspberries, and we're finally getting ripe raspberries. There's berries all over these. I still need to weed this bed and mulch it for the year, but I've got little raspberries all over the place. Raspberries are my favorite, and now that I'm actually getting a few, I'm kicking myself for not planting more of them, and I'm actually trying to convince Steven to let me plant more raspberries this fall. And not sure where to put them yet, but I have a few suggestions that I'm gonna put by him, and we'll see what he says. The blueberries have not produced yet this year, but they did last year, and I think it's just a little chilly. Oh, a blue jay. I can't see it from here. But these blackberries, man, they have exploded. And there's berries everywhere. In fact, these blackberries have exploded so much that they choked out the grapes that were in this bed underneath here. So we pulled them, and we weren't able to save them, unfortunately. But it did create a little bit of like a microclimate underneath these berries, and I made a cat garden, so to speak. So we weeded and mulched, and then I planted cat grass on this end and on the other end where Fishy is, right over here. And they can come and eat on this grass. There was catnip in here, and it looks like it's all been eaten. And I put in some chamomile and some tulsi in here, and it just gives them a little space to kind of hang out in the shade underneath the berries and leaves. And I'm going to restart the catnip and put some more in here. So they've been really happy with that. We have 4 cats now. Over the winter, we found 2 cats abandoned in a garage that, in a house that just didn't have anybody living in it. And the person that owns it is trying to clean it out and sell it. And they were like, yeah, no, we don't want these kittens. So I took them home. And of course I took them home. Here's a little sneaky peeky. I don't know if you recognize that shape or not, but I'm not gonna tell you what I'm putting here. You'll just have to see. You'll just have to find out. I'm not telling. We also have a few other little projects in mind, and super excited to get those started. But I'm gonna show you a few little things in the backyard before we wrap it up. While we're out here, it's time to go ahead and let the ladies out for the morning. We got teenager chickens and a brooder. We got a broody mama here. That's Zoe. She's my partridge coachin'. We do not have a rooster. Not a single one of the eggs she's sitting on is fertile. Not a single one. I know for a fact. We do not have a rooster. She has been sitting up there for a while. I need to grab a ladder and bring her down because look at her wattle. It's starting to pale out. She's come down. She's sitting on eggs. Even if they were fertile, how would you get your babies down from there, babe? Silly chickies. There are some big changes in store for that garage, but I can't tell you what they are yet. And another little change that we've had in the back is we got a little pool, and we actually made this ourselves out of a 8-foot stock tank, and we installed a pump. We made a video on it. It's not up yet because it's not finished yet. It's been so cold that we haven't really been able to use it. So we haven't put that video up yet because I'm not done making the video yet, and it's not done being put together yet. So that's to come. Our grapes are doing fantastic. We added a 3rd trellis here on the end. They keep climbing, and every year we're getting more and more grapes. It's fantastic. Let's talk about this giveaway that I'm gonna be doing with my friend Mallory. Mallory is from the Quebec Homestead, and we both reached 9,000 subscribers on the same day. So we thought it would be fun if we did a little friendly competition between ourselves just to see who would get to 10,000 subscribers first. And then we thought, well, why don't we make it a little bit more interesting for our viewers? And we decided to do a joint giveaway. When we both reached 10,000 subscribers, we will be doing a joint giveaway with 2 winners. Originally, we thought we would have a Canadian winner and a US winner, but we don't know how we would even do that. So we're just gonna have 2 winners. It's open to both US and Canadian viewers. And if both of the winners are in Canada, then so be it. And if both winners are in the US, then so be it. So we're gonna do 2 winners. We're both gonna give away a signed copy of a book. I'm not gonna tell you which books they are. My book and her book are not gonna be the same, but they're both signed by the authors, so that's exciting. And we're going to do some seeds. We're so close. We're so close to being able to do this giveaway, and I'm so incredibly excited, because if it wasn't for you guys, it wouldn't be possible. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be almost at 10,000 each if it wasn't for you guys subscribing and watching and being amazing the way that you are. So, I mean, thank you. And hopefully we'll be able to do our live giveaway soon. Should be in the next few weeks. It's just really a matter of when both of us hit those numbers, and then we'll be able to get into it. So yeah, let's get back to the backyard, and I'm just super excited. I grabbed these Gerber daisies from Lowe's, and I've never had good luck getting them to bloom a second time once I plant them, but I guess all the rain has been really good for them because they've bloomed a second time, and I'm thrilled. This one here is trying to bloom again. These are yellow. My shard is starting to bolt, so this one's pretty done. I'm probably gonna pull this real quick and give it to the chickens. Now it looks like I've got a volunteer zinnia in the middle of all my onions and a bunch of weeds in the back. These 3 are black-eyed Susans that I got on clearance last year. Look at what I found. That's coming with me. So if you guys remember, last year and the year before, our entire fence line was lined with bamboo, and we actually came out here with a pickaxe and dug up rhizomes. We dug up as many as we could and put in evergreens instead. And of course now it's all the rain, the weeds are coming up and everything, but also I'm starting to see a few rhizomes that we missed. So I'm gonna have to come out and move some of these tunnels, some of the chicken tunnels here, and dig underneath them to get these rhizomes out. And then also in my compost, I haven't been able to turn my compost because of the bamboo. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to dig them out and then make doors and a lid for the compost pile, and then allow the chickens access to the inside so that they can do the heavy work for me. I'm not great at composting, but yeah, that's the plan. My first harvest out of this green stalk was really awesome. We had a bunch of radishes in these bigger pockets. It was up on my patio, but I brought it down to get a little bit more light. I noticed that my peas here, they've gotten really long, but they weren't really making blossoms, and now they are. And that's just because they weren't getting enough light. My lavender is doing spectacular. It's blooming in here. I took the mint out of here and repotted it because it was taking over. And that's not what I wanted for here. And I did end up putting some pansies and some dill in here. And I am going to probably replant this with a few things. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to put in here yet. I'm thinking maybe some bush beans and some flowers, but we'll see. And then here in this in-ground garden, I've got clematis coming up all over the place trying to choke everything out, so I need to take care of that, but it's a losing battle, trust me. So we've got our lemon balm bushing out. I planted some nasturtium here that would hopefully cascade. Got some flat leaf parsley, sage in the back that's flowering beautifully. In that pot we have a dwarf lemon tree. I've got bolting parsley. And some evergreens. This entire side here was ornamental grasses. These ornamental grasses here. I had to come out here with a pickaxe and it took me half a day to get them all out, but I finally put down some weed barrier. I use cardboard personally because it feeds the soil eventually. And we put in some soil and some compost and mulched it to prevent it from weeding over. I got one of our evergreens here in the back planted. It was starting to not be so happy in a pot, so I had to get in. We put some zinnias here in the front. They are these ones here. They're the Cupid mix. I've got a few over here and they are just the most stunning, like jewelry colors. I love them so much. So I had to put them here. We've got some more sage and oregano. I've got chocolate mint that I actually thought that I pulled out by accident, and I was so upset at myself a few years ago that I wasn't going to have chocolate mint anymore. And well, you know how mint is. It laughed at me and said, yeah, you're definitely still going to have mint. So I've got this chocolate mint coming up through the middle here between the oregano and the thyme. So this one is oregano. That is trying to bolt little flowers here. I need to cut it back and dry some of that. And this one here is a lemon thyme, and it's already starting to make little bitty flowers. They're so pretty. I love that bright green color. Now during the super cold snap, my rosemary died back a whole bunch, so I pruned it on this end, but it's coming back here, so all is not lost. Hopefully it comes back full force. And I managed to mulch this whole half, but not this half yet, so it's a process. We're getting there. We are getting there. Alright guys, thanks so much for joining me on today's mini garden tour. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. If you want to be included and notified when we hit our 10K giveaway, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. We are giving away so much cool stuff. It is so amazing. And don't forget to check out Mallory at the Quebec Homestead, because if she doesn't reach 10K, we're not doing the giveaway. It's gotta be both of us. So please check her out. Please remember to subscribe to both of us so that we can both hit 10,000 subscribers and get that giveaway to you guys, 2 winners. It's gonna be fantastic. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys on the next one.